Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Inside of today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the best brawler for every single class within Brawl Stars right now. So I feel like this isn't something that most people actually talk about in Brawl Stars. In other games, everyone's always talking about who's the best support, healer, etc, etc. Whilst in Brawl Stars, we don't really do that much with that terminology. So I'm going to be going through all of the best ones. You know, for example, we have Hank, who's the best tank, definitely the best tank, you know what I mean? You got Maisie, who's somehow a marksman. So we'll be going through those in ranked and trying to get a win with every single brawler who's the best in their category. So also I'm 55th in the world, which is pretty decent. But before we jump into it, make sure you're using a create code. That'd be greatly appreciated. And without further ado, let's hop into it. Alright guys, so we're going to be jumping into the first class, and it's going to be tank. So in my personal opinion, I think the best tank in the game is Buster. So I know there's a lot of good tanks. It just depends on what your definition of tank means. Of course, if you're thinking about literally the highest HP brawler in the game, of course, Frank's going to be the tankiest tank you'll ever find. But for me, Buster, I absolutely love him because you can play him pretty much everywhere. He's very unlike other tanks, that he's kind of like the support type of tank. You know, he's not always there to deal a lot of damage. Of course, literally in its name is tank. So he's going to tank a lot with his super. He's going to create a lot of pressure through his gadget and everything else. And that's why I just love Buster. You can play him on knockout, bounty, whatever. My teammates should be able to clean that up easily. Okay, let's not get 1v3 by Larry and Laurie here, please. Charlie, there's no way. There's no way we're going to get 1v3'd. There's no possible way. Unless... Come on, Bell. He's literally right there. That's easy, Bell. Come on. That's easy. Don't panic. Don't let him in the bush either. Come on. Oh, okay. Woo. I thought as soon as I put the recording on, I was about to get 1v3'd. I know you guys probably said that was dumb me going there, but I thought surely my teammates can just clean that up. I mean, lesson learned a little bit. But yeah, Buster, you can play him literally everywhere. Every single game mode. Not every map. Probably say Heist is his worst because you can't get a lot of damage on the safe. But I've still seen like competitive play Buster used on like Kaboom Canyon, for example. So gotta bear that in mind. Okay, I'm pretty close to death here. Gotta relax. But Carl can't super in because I've got a gadget to cancel that out. So another good thing about him. Let's try push in here. Carl's gonna try it. Bro. Right. I don't know why he really dashed there, because now he's just gonna get more shots ricocheted onto him. This is pretty painful. I need to group up with my teammates here so I can get a super. Yeah, but the great thing about Buster and Knockout, like I can just wait till the gas closes in, use my super, and we should be able to win even against a thrower. That's going to be pretty useful. Right, we're chipping the coal down. We've got good wall peeking capabilities as well with Buster, which you'll love to see. Not too sure what the coal is really doing here. I'm going to use super, use gadget against Cole, should be able to take him down, and that's going to be the win. Absolutely love to see it. I didn't even play the best, to be honest. But yeah, a good Buster can absolutely dominate. Just use his HP to push the opponents back with his super. And I think it's the best tank. In terms of other tanks, you probably have the likes of Rosa that just start to get a bit better, BB as well, Jackie. There's a few others, but I think Buster will always have that sweet spot in the meta, and you need to try him out more. He's always super underrated, so he's going to be the best tank. Let's hop into the next class. Alright, so jumping into the best damage dealer, in my opinion, it's going to be 8-bit. So it was pretty hard to decide. It's one of a few underrated ones, like Rico, like Surge. Trying to think of some other ones, Colt as well. But I just think in terms of pure damage, like, it's literally why you pick 8-bit, right? He's a damage dealer with his super, which is all about damage. It's just a no-brainer for me. Also, I think he'll forever be underrated, in my opinion, until... I don't know. Well, I don't think they should nerf his star power. But get what I mean. As long as his star power is still pretty strong in the meta, he's always going to be underrated as a damage dealer. And I've just been having the perfect strategy right here. As a last pick to counter their entire composition, especially on the Bushy modifier, we've just been grouping up in mid with his turret, and they just literally can't touch us the entire time. So, unfortunately, Melody might be able to destroy that with her notes. It's pretty painful, but that's okay. We can put a new turret down. They're grouping all up. See, they're going to try and counter us. We all grouped up in the middle with Gene, and we just absolutely wrecked them. So, 8-bit, of course, best game mode is going to be Heist, but he's really, really good as a gem carrier in Gem Grab, for example. Literally as this... Well, we can use this game as proof. I'm using Vision Gear as well, of course, being super bushy. I can just keep them back. And of course, Boosted Booster, it's not just you dealing the damage, right? It's your teammates as well. In Heist, you literally delete the safe with this brawler, with just you and your teammates. And like, these guys just can't do anything. They've just been ripping for him the entire time. And even though we die, we should be pretty good. Oh, okay, Crow, that was pretty close. Yeah, in terms of like solo damage dealers, you probably got like Surge, Rico, Colette that are decent as well. But I think 8-bit's so consistent, you don't even need a brain cell to really use 8-bit. You can just absolutely tap and kill really consistently. Again, I think he's like pretty underrated in like bounty and like hideout, on shooting star even, because you can enable you and your sharpshooters just sit in that turret. Any long range map, use 8-bit. Like, look at that. What brawler gets consistent 100k damage? Only 8-bit. So of course he's the best damage dealer. Let's jump into the next one. Okay, so now jumping into the best assassin in the game, in my opinion, it's going to be Buzz. I know what you're thinking straight away. Well, Melody's in this category. How isn't she the best assassin? I think Melody, of course, technically is the best brawler in that class, right? Of course she is. There's no doubts about that. But as an assassin, I don't know, I just don't feel like you always get like the most damage with Melody. The reason why Melody's so good is because of the space she can create and whatever else. If it was something about like mobility and something like that, then I think Melody would be at the top. But I think pure assassin, I think Buzz has to win. I've been loving Buzz recently. Again, I kind of neglect Buzz too much sometimes, maybe because there's too much love for him. So sometimes I think you guys can be a bit biased, but at the same time, I think I was leaning the other way. I was very, very biased against like not seeing just how good he is. I mean, that's a 45-second game, but I just absolutely destroyed them, even against Charlie and everything else. I played pretty good. Also, I think his hype charge is pretty underrated. You actually cycle it pretty quickly. The more I try him, the more I'm really enjoying Buzz. In terms of other assassins as well, you know, Mortis is starting to get a bit better. Edgar's always pretty decent. Leon's fell down a bit. So if it's between two, it's definitely between Melody and Buzz. But my personal favorite right now in the meta has to be Buzz. So that's going to be it for assassins. Let's hop into the next one. Alright guys, so jumping into the next class, it's the marksman class. So of course, you're going to be rating this class on who kind of does most damage, most range, etc, etc. And of course, right now, it's none other than Angelo. I just think it would be very deluded to not put Angelo at the top of his list. And I'm actually very surprised I got my hands on him in ranked. I think he's banned pretty much 99% of my games. And for whatever reason, people don't seem to think he's good on dueling beetles. But he's actually very strong. Of course, you got the water over on the left, which can be pretty nice. Okay, that Tara just did a Tom. But we can heal up, of course, with our super. But the best thing about Angelo is, of course, he does the most damage as a sniper. So even if he's to receive several nerfs, I think he's always going to be one of the best marksmen for sure. Only really Nanny and Piper can compete in that category. So again, you know, if Angelo does receive a nerf pretty soon, in terms of other good marksmen, probably going to be Piper, right? Piper's probably going to be next in line. And then just briefly, when I get a second, get this Tara down. Beautiful. Get the roses. I should just shoot the roses so she's revealed a bit more by poison. It doesn't even matter because his super just reveals him anyway. This Miko's kind of going crazy right now, I'm not gonna lie. And also this jump can just get away. Like, how can you even kill him? Considering he's like a brawler does so much damage, it's actually just crazy his survivability. Again, super. We can just hold on to this. Wait for that super duration to go. I'm looking pretty good. This is looking like a dub. One shot in the dynamite as well. It's just crazy. How do people not know to ban Angelo at this point in time? Other marksmen, again, it would be normally like Piper, Belle, and Nanny. Nanny's falling down a bit, so Piper's probably second best. But 13-1 on the Angelo. Like, seriously. Like, what else can I even say at that point? So that's going to be the best marksman by far. Let's hop into the next one. Alright guys, so jumping into this support category, and the best brawler in support, in my opinion, has to be Byron. So you guys just know about how much I love Byron right now in the meta. I was always kind of preaching on him when he was super underrated, and right now he's at the top of the meta and he definitely deserves it. It's been a long time since he's been so good. So of course, as a support brawler, he can do everything. He can heal up with his injection and literally shoot the opponents at the same time. He's got a super that can support, and he can support from a distance as well. That's what I absolutely love about Byron. Of course, in comparison to other healers, Poco, Palm, etc., they can't really offer nowhere near the amount of healing that Byron can. So I was going to try and break the Nanny's ankles. Unfortunately, couldn't do that. In terms of other good support brawlers as well, I think like Kit and Max are really close. Max in particular is incredibly close. I would have literally put Max and Byron at the same. Like, both offer support in different ways. You know, Max's support is all about offering supers to the opponents with the speed and, of course, pressure. But Byron, a lot of times you can just pocket heal. Like this Colette, I've not really been running this synergy too much because these guys are just terrible. I've just ran through them. But in a competitive game, Byron Colette synergy is insane in Heist, and you can just literally, from a distance, support with the healing. It's just insane how much you can heal with this brawler. So of course, Byron, one of my favorite support characters. Let's hop into the next one. Okay, so now we're moving into the artillery class, and my favorite brawler in artillery has to be Dynamite. So I know what you're thinking straight away. Dynamite probably is overrated by the randoms, but trust me, if a good Dynamite plays it, I know I'm definitely not a good Dynamite, but he could absolutely carry. Of course, as an artillery, I think big, high damage kind of thrower. that kind of vibes. And Dynamite definitely gives me those vibes. Of course, with his super as well, with Demolition, with his Hypercharge, there's just so much artillery power. So I absolutely love Dynamite for that reason. We should be able to catch the Grey off guard here. Nice. For break the Nanny's ankles as well. We should be able to get a good super. Oh, we just missed out. That is unfortunate. We definitely don't want to be near this Melody either. She will counter us pretty hard. Come on. Nice. Okay, at least we can get the kill there for our death. And we have the blue star. Beautiful. But we are down by 1. But yeah, Dynamite. I think the only other contention really is Sprout and Tick. But Tick doesn't really do a lot of consistent damage, right? He's more of a tickler. Literally, it's in his name. Okay, why is Melody just absolutely destroyed? How is Melody even left open? Somehow we've actually got a good trade there. Okay, this is pretty bad. But yeah, Sprout, I would say as an artillery, like, he's okay. But I would consider Sprout more of like, not really support, but more of a controller. Like with his super, he controls where the opponents are going. And yeah, it does get countered pretty easily. So I don't think he's really in the artillery category. Can we get a stun on this Nanny? Yes, we can. That should be the kill. And that's going to be the kill from our Colt. I didn't even see that. So I didn't really play the best in the last 2 rounds. But the first round, you can see, I got star player. Absolutely carried, of course, when it was off camera. But yeah, I think Dynamite is easily the best artillery brawler. The Hypercharge, the super, you can just make so many plays with a stun as well. And that's going to be artillery. Let's hop to the next one. Okay, so moving on to the final category here, or class, we have controller. And this was actually pretty hard. It's not actually Jean, it is Sandy. But I'm trying to play Sandy in ranked, and I've been playing like 15 games. I haven't even got a chance to go Sandy because everyone bans it. They know how strong Sandy is as a brawler and as a control brawler. So of course, Sandy's kit literally, it revolves around control. His super just gives you the entire map control. It pushes people back. It completely decides where people are on the map. So of course, that's the main part of this control class, right? In terms of like other brawlers as well, some of the brawlers on the control list, I don't even think are that good at controlling. Like Jean, I guess he is a bit of a controller. Like he can walk around the map with his super and whatever else and dictate play like that, because you know you can't go close to a Jean pool. There's other brawlers as well which are pretty decent in terms of control, like Amber, for example, with a super, Lou with a super. I think Squeak is a really underrated control brawler because every single shot that he puts out, it controls where the opponents are going, right? There's not really a brawler pretty similar to it. By the way, this game is just an absolute clown fest. I'm facing full power 9 squad. Like, I've never seen anyone use Power 9 in rank for a very long time, and the whole opponents are using Power 9, so I can't really talk about it. But yeah, Sandy, of course, insane in this meta and the best control brawler. In terms of other ones, like I mentioned, there's a few others. There's also some brawlers that can literally take control of the others, like Willow, for example. So you can, of course, consider that as well. So but that's going to be it for today's video. Let me know whether you enjoyed that. In terms of, I don't think I lost a single game during this. I may have lost like 1. Yeah, I lost 1 because my team went crow on heist. But we've been doing pretty good on ranked recently. But let me know down in the comment section below whether I got any of these wrong. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time.